Hey guys, I wanted to give a little bit of a sneak preview to another series that I'm about to launch. And the purpose of this series is going to be that each of us has a good side and a bad side, right? We've got a good side and a bad side. Um, for those of us that used to watch old time Warner Brothers, you'd have like a little angel character over here, then like a little devil character over there, right? Um, so it would be, like I said, we've all got two sides to us, right? We've got a good side and a bad side. And I think the problem is that we instinctually say, okay, the bad side is no good. I don't want to listen to him. I don't need to listen to him. He doesn't have anything good to say to me. And I think that is the furthest thing that we should be doing. I truly believe that the good side and the bad side both have very important things to tell us and very important things to let us know about. So the good side and the bad side, they both have things they want to tell us. They both have things they have to tell us. And we have to listen to them both. Okay? And you're going to say, okay, that's a little goofy. Why would the bad side have anything important to say? It's because both sides have healthy and toxic sides about themselves. Okay? Both sides have healthy and toxic aspects about themselves. Both sides. And what I mean by that is that the good side will say, hey, let's try this, let's do this. Here's why it's a good idea. Right? It's healthy. The toxic, the bad side is going to probably gear towards the toxic and say, well, why should you care? Who cares? Go drink down that gallon, go smoke that whole carton, whatever the case may be. But we need to understand that the good side doesn't just talk about healthy things, and the bad side doesn't just talk about toxic things. Both sides talk about healthy and toxic things. They just go about it in a different way. Okay? And what I mean by that is that so for example, the good side could come up with a healthy idea, right? It's going to come up with a healthy idea, and it's going to say, hey, you need to start eating right, you need to start moving. Okay, those are, on the surface, those are good things. But that can become toxic if you let it, right? That can become toxic to the point where you don't allow yourself to make a mistake. You don't allow yourself to miss a workout. You don't allow yourself to miss a meal. That can get toxic. You could also just keep pushing into that realm of eating so good and working out so much to the point where you're literally destroying yourself. Like I said, on the surface, that is a healthy thing, but it can become toxic. Okay? So that's an example of the good side having healthy ideas and having toxic ideas. Now, if we go to the bad side, yes, it's going to be a lot more toxic than healthy. But at the same time, the bad side will say, oh, well, you don't need to work out. You don't need to worry about what you're eating. You don't need to worry about what you're consuming. You can just do whatever you want to do. Nothing's going to matter, right? Okay. Now, yeah, that does kind of sound a little goofy at first. But if you can incrementally pull that apart and say, you know what? He says that I don't need to worry about what I'm eating. That's going too far. What if there's one day a week I don't need to worry about what I'm eating? Or there's one meal a week I don't need to worry about what I'm eating? Or there's 2 days a week I don't need to worry about working out? So maybe there was an element of truth there. and I think this is going to be really important too, is that the bad side will use toxicity, right? They'll use toxicity to make you think a certain way, make you act a certain way. And they're going to poke you. Okay? They got this really well-defined stick that they poke you with, okay? It's extremely well-defined. And my God, the stick that they're poking you with is so defined and so effective. You almost need to ask yourself, how did they get that? And why does it affect me so much? Because if the bad side knows exactly where to poke you, if the bad side knows exactly where to hit you to get a response, then you need to ask yourself, wait a minute, why am I acting this way? Why is he so effective at poking me? Right? If the response is that when I encounter this level of stress, or if I encounter this situation, or if I encounter this person, then I go back to these habits, right? And they're going to be poking you the entire time saying, oh, hey, you're calling them again. And remember what happened the last time you called them? You know, you ended up flipping out on them, or you ended up like down in a bottle or whatever, right? So you need to ask yourself, why are they able to poke you so good, and why are they so effective at it? Because if you've got a weakness, if you've got a soft point, which we all have, if you've got a portion of yourself that is vulnerable and it's easy to exploit, you actually need to say, wait a minute. Yes, he's the bad side, but he's been poking me really good in that corner. And I need to ask myself, why is that corner so weak? Why is that seam so weak? Why is that portion of me so fragmented? You know, if the situation is I call my parents and it pisses me off so much that I, clear off a case, I need to ask myself, wait a minute, why am I doing that? And so you need to ask yourself and say, okay, yes, he is poking me. Yes, he is exploiting me. But maybe he's showing me what I need to work on. Maybe he's showing me something that I'm not conscious of. Or maybe he's showing me something that I need to be more conscious of and I need to devote more time and energy to. We all have our strengths. Most of us know what our strengths are. We all have our weaknesses. Most of us know what our weaknesses are. You build upon your strengths and you try to work on your weaknesses. And the bad side might have been poking you to say, hey, you know what? My job is to be a jerk, but guess what? If you pay attention to what I'm doing, I am showing you a portion of yourself that you need to work on, so that maybe the next time I poke you, you're not so susceptible. Maybe he had a job to do the whole time. All right, guys, so that's just a little preamble to a series that I want to get started, but it's basically the idea is that we have a good side and a bad side, and the good side has healthy and toxic things to say. The bad side has healthy and toxic things to say. And then you as the individual, you have to move forward and take from both sides what you will, and then continue your journey. And if you give both sides equal time at the mic, and if you take what they say seriously, you can harness what they got to say, good, bad, or indifferent. You can harness it, and you can move forward with it. And the bad side might not be so bad at the end of the day. All right, guys.